A dyad is a two-note chord, more commonly called an interval. And we'll see that the naming of an interval requires the specification of two things: a number and a quality. The number is determined by the position of notes on the staff, and the quality by the number of semitones separating the two notes on the keyboard The interval of a seventh is defined on the staff as being line, 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 line. For example, if I started on C, line, 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 up to a B is a seventh. Also, we can define it as space, 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 space. For example, if I started on the F, space, 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 and ended up on the E, that would also be a seventh. Now, to determine the quality of this interval, we go to the keyboard. From a C to a B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 semitones. Eleven semitone seventh interval is a major seventh. Abbreviated capital M7. From F to an E is a seventh, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 semitones, so it also is a major seventh. To have a minor seventh interval, abbreviated little m7, we'd have one less number of semitones between the two notes. So I could take my F to E major seventh, F to E, and I could make the E and E flat, which would then give me 10 semitones, or a minor seventh interval. I could also leave the E alone, and I could sharpen the F, giving me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 semitones, and again a minor seventh. If I take the minor seventh interval and I make it smaller by one semitone, I'll have a diminished seventh, abbreviated small d7. It will have 9 semitones. For example, let's say I have our F to E flat, and I make the interval smaller by one semitone. I could do that by having a double flat on the E. So let me redraw the F to E flat here. Here's my F, here's my E flat. And I make the E flat another flat, making it a double flat. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 semitones. That's a diminished seventh. And I could keep the E flat as it was and make the interval smaller by sharpening the F. So the F would go here, again giving me 9 semitones or a diminished seventh. From the major seventh interval, like C to an E, C to a B, if I make the interval larger by 1 semitone, I will have an augmented seventh. That's abbreviated capital A, 7. It has 12 semitones. And we could do that by making the upper note higher by a half step, by sharpening it. So a C to a B major seventh. If I make the B a B sharp, I would now have 12 semitones, and that would be an augmented seventh. Likewise, I could keep the B where it was and make the interval wider by flattening the lower note. So C would become C flat, and that would also give me 12 semitones or an augmented seventh. We've looked at the interval of an augmented, we've looked at the interval of a seventh, and saw that on the staff it was defined as line, 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 or space, 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 space. We looked at 4 variations of this interval of a seventh, namely the major and minor, and augmented and diminished.